He looked straight at me, raised his hand, and slapped me so hard my lip bled. Then he laughed. That laugh wasn't just cruel, it was a message. He thought I was weak. He thought I'd stay quiet, maybe cry, maybe beg. But I didn't. I stood there stunned. Not from the pain, but from the realization. This man didn't love me. He didn't even see me as a person anymore. I wasn't his partner. I was someone he thought he could break. But that was the moment something inside me shifted. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't say a word. I just stared back, calm on the outside, but burning inside. If he wanted a victim, he picked the wrong woman. While he went on with his night like nothing had happened, I lay in bed, silently planning. Every detail of that moment played in my head on repeat. Not because I was scared, but because I needed to remember. I needed to never forget what he had done and what I had to do next. This wasn't about anger. This was about survival. About reclaiming what he tried to take from. I knew crying wouldn't help. Talking to him wouldn't help. He crossed a line he could never uncross. And I wasn't going to let him pretend it was a mistake or a one-time thing. I knew men like him. They don't stop. They just get better at hiding it. But I wasn't going to give him another chance. He thought he broke me, but all he did was set me free. In that quiet moment after he hit me, I saw my whole life different. I saw how small I had become in this house. How carefully I had walked around him. How I stayed silent to keep the peace. But not anymore. That slap didn't end me. It woke me up. He laughed thinking it was over. But for me, it was just the beginning. When we first got married, I had a good job. I liked working. I had my own money and I felt independent. But little by little, he started pushing me to quit. He said things like, "Why work when I can take care of you?" Or, "A good wife focuses on the home." At first, it sounded sweet. He made it seem like he wanted to provide and give me an easy life. I thought he loved me and wanted the best for us. After months of hearing it, I gave in. I left my job. He told me I'd be happier without the stress of work and that we didn't need two incomes. I trusted him. That was my first mistake. Not long after, he started acting different. He questioned how I spent money, even on small things like groceries. He made fun of me for not earning anything. He said I didn't understand how money worked since I wasn't bringing any in. It stung, but I stayed quiet. I thought maybe I was overreacting. Then it got worse. He didn't like me talking to my old coworkers. He said they were a bad influence. He rolled his eyes when I said, "I miss my friends." Over time, I stopped reaching out. My world got smaller, and I didn't even notice how alone I'd become until it was too late. Every decision had to go through him. He made sure I didn't have much of a voice. But while he thought I was just a housewife with no power, I wasn't blind. I started paying attention. I remembered how to check bank records, how to read credit reports, and how to look through emails and account statements. I wasn't loud about it. I just watched and learned. He never knew I still had access to some of the financial accounts. I had copies of old passwords, security answers, and even a backup of his phone he forgot I made. I wasn't planning anything at first. I just wanted to feel like I wasn't completely in the dark. Looking back, I see now that he didn't want a partner. He wanted someone easy to control. Taking away my job, my friends, and my independence wasn't about luck. It was about power. He made me feel like I was lucky to have him. But he was the one who was lucky I stayed so long, and I had already started keeping quiet records of everything because deep down I knew one day I'd need them. One night while he was asleep, his phone lit up with a message. I wasn't trying to snoop, but something made me look. It was a woman's name I didn't recognize. The message was flirty, way too personal. I opened the thread and my heart sank. He was calling her by a name that wasn't his. He had made up a fake identity, pretending to be someone else. I kept scrolling. There were dozens of messages, photos, even talk about meeting up. I felt sick, but I didn't cry. I stayed calm and kept reading. That's when I noticed something strange. He sent her screenshot of a payment transfer. The account name wasn't one I recognized. It wasn't any of our joint accounts. I wrote it down. The next day, while he was out, I opened our laptop and went digging. After some searching, I found it. An online account in his name only, hidden under a separate email address. He had been moving money into it quietly for months. He thought I wouldn't know how to look. He thought I was too clueless to understand banking systems or search history, but I did. I took screenshots of everything, transfers, login, even dates that matched the messages he sent to her. Every click he made left a trail, and I followed it carefully. I saved it all to a flash drive and locked it away. That same week, I found a quiet, experienced lawyer. I didn't tell anyone. I met her during the day, told her everything, and showed her what I had. She didn't seem shocked. It was clear she'd seen this before. She told me to keep collecting proof, but not to say a word to him. It wasn't just about the cheating anymore. It was about the lies, the money, the secrets he thought I'd never uncover. Instead of falling apart, I felt more awake than I had in years. I wasn't weak. I wasn't stupid. I was ready. Every message, every dollar he tried to hide, it was all turning into evidence. And soon, I'd use it all. The morning after he hit me, I woke up before the sun. My lip was sore, but my mind was clear. I didn't feel scared anymore. I felt steady, like I knew what I had to do. He had gone to work as if nothing had happened. No apology, no guilt, just silence like it never happened. That told me everything I needed to know. There was no fixing this. It was over. I didn't waste time. I got dressed and called a locksmith. I told him it was urgent. He came within an hour. I didn't give a long story. I just said I needed new locks and only one key. While he worked, I packed up a few of his things into a box and left them by the door. I didn't touch anything else. I didn't want him claiming damage or saying I took what wasn't mine. I was smart about every move. After the locks were changed, I called the landlord and explained what happened. I kept my voice calm. I told them I needed the keys changed and wanted it on record that he no longer lived here. They didn't ask too many questions, but they agreed. I also made sure to keep a copy of the receipt from the locksmith and the email from the landlord. I wanted everything documented. Then I checked the cameras. We had a doorbell cam he'd forgotten about. I made sure it was working. I wanted proof if he tried anything. I also sent the lawyer a message to let her know what I'd done. She said I was making the right move and reminded me to stay quiet. No warning, no goodbye, just action. The rest of the day felt long. I kept looking at the clock, waiting for him to come home. My heart beat faster as the sun went down, but I wasn't afraid. I just didn't know what his reaction would be. Around 6, I heard his car pull up, then his footsteps, then the doorknob shaking. He tried to open it, but the new lock held tight. He knocked hard, then louder. He started yelling my name. I didn't answer. I stood on the other side of the door, silent. He banged harder, confused, then angry. But this time, it was his turn to feel powerless. I had all the control now, and he didn't even know how much. He thought I would still be there waiting like always. But I was done waiting. That house wasn't his anymore. It was mine. After I changed the locks, I sat down with my laptop and started the next part of my plan. I had everything ready. Screenshots, account numbers, login details. I knew what I had to do and I wasn't going to waste time. He had control for too long. Now it was my turn. First, I logged into our joint bank accounts. I moved my part of the money into a new account that only I could access. Then I froze the joint accounts completely. he wouldn't be able to use a single dollar from them. I also made sure to alert the bank to deny any transactions from his side without my written permission. Next, I blocked every card we had together, credit cards, stock cards, anything with both our names. I called and told them to freeze their accounts. I made it clear there was a legal matter in process and that I didn't approve of him using the funds. I had copies of everything and even forwarded a few documents from the lawyer to back up my claim. I didn't stop there. I contacted the credit bureaus and put alerts on all shared credit lines. That way, if he tried to open anything new using my information, I'd know right away. I locked down every part of our financial life he once had access to. Then I took things one step further. I reported a few of his secret side jobs to the IRS. He never filed taxes for them, thinking no one would find out. But I had records. He bragged about not reporting that income, thinking he was smart. I kept proof, screenshots of text messages, payment receipts, even the fake names he used. I sent it all in. Once that was done, I set up a private legal trust for my portion of the money. This way, he couldn't touch it during the divorce. The lawyer helped me make sure it was solid. I wasn't going to let him take a single cent more than he deserved. Later that day, my phone rang. His name showed up. I didn't answer. Then he called again and again. I turned the phone off. I had nothing left to say. He could scream, cry, beg. I didn't care. He made his choice. Now he could live with it. That night, for the first time in a long while, I slept without fear. Everything he thought he controlled was gone. Every door he thought was open was now shut. And I was the one holding the key. Before I became a housewife, I worked in finance. I handled money, accounts, contracts, and numbers every single day. I was good at it. I solved problems fast and paid attention to every detail. I had clients who trusted me and a boss who counted on me. But when I met him, he said I should take a break. He said we didn't need two incomes. He wanted me home, not working late or stressing over deadlines. He made it sound like love, like care. Slowly, I stepped away from my job. I didn't know then that he didn't want a partner. He wanted someone easy to manage. He always acted like I didn't know much. He'd explain basic things to me like I was a child. He talked over me when we were with friends. If I offered an opinion, he'd laugh or change the subject. I let it go for a while just to keep the peace. I thought maybe he just liked feeling in charge, but deep down I knew who I was. I never forgot the skills I had, the knowledge I'd worked hard to gain. I just waited for the right moment to use them again. When I found out about the cheating, the money, the lies, I didn't panic. I got to work quietly, carefully. I put everything in motion. While he thought I was clueless, I was gathering proof, talking to a lawyer, setting everything up. He had no idea what I was capable of because he never took the time to see me clearly. That was his biggest mistake.